Please watch the following video before and during the experiment.
Hi, my name is Annie and today we are going to be layering liquids. Now you might be wondering, Annie, how could you layer liquids? The explanation is simple. It's a thing called density. Density is defined as the mass per unit of volume. The formula for density is mass divided by volume. Density tells us how tightly each substance is packed together. Based on the density equation, if the weight or the mass of something increases but the volume stays the same, the density has to go up. Likewise, if the mass decreases but the volume stays the same, the density has to go down. If you like to think of an example, look at a drink with ice cubes in it. The ice cubes float because they are less dense than water. In today's experiment, you'll need honey, water, oil, some dish soap, rubbing alcohol, some food coloring, a clear cup or container, and a mixing tool. Make sure you select a container that is clear so that you can see the liquids, and then one that is not too wide, otherwise you might have to use more liquid to form a layer. Okay, so the first step is to prepare our liquids. Since rubbing alcohol and water are both clear, you should choose one or both to color. I'm going to be coloring my water blue. Okay, next we're going to be layering our liquids. So please be careful in this stuff because if you layer it wrong, your experiment can fail. So we're going to start with honey, and when you pour in your honey, you're going to want to make sure that you pour into the center of the container and make sure it doesn't touch the sides of the container. So take your time and pour in your honey slowly, just like in the center like this. And you're going to want to pour it in until you form a good layer in there. So once you're done and you let it sit for a little bit, you should see a layer of honey like that. So next we're going to do the same thing with dish soap. So make sure that you pour into the center of the container and avoid touching the sides. Okay. You're also going to want to let these two layers sit for a little bit, and when you do, you should see a separate layer has formed. Okay, now we're going to move on to the water. Now, when you pour in the water, you want to pour it in so that it does touch the side of the container. You're going to want to pour it like this. You can also use a food baster to help you, and again, take your time to pour in your water and let it sit before you move on to your next layer. Okay, once you let your water sit, you should see that it's been separated from the dish soap and the honey. Now we're going to do the same thing again with vegetable oil. Again, make sure you touch the sides of the container and take your time and let the layer sit before you move on to the next one. Again, once you've let your layer sit, you should see that it's been separated from the other layers. Our final layer is the rubbing alcohol. Now, if you've been using a food baster until now, make sure you clean it up before you use it with the rubbing alcohol. And again, pour in your rubbing alcohol so that it touches the sides of the container. Do this slowly and let the layer sit. Okay, now when you look at your container, you should be able to see that each of your liquid has formed its own layer and has been separated from all the other liquids. Like mentioned before earlier in this video, this is due to the density of each liquid. The more dense a liquid is, the closer it is to the bottom of the container. I hope you enjoyed this experiment. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.